Aloha from Edmonton, Alberta. Streaming live wherever you are. I hope you can receive what's happening here today. We have some very different things going on. I'll be watching the chat in YouTube and Facebook today. So if you have any burning questions, please feel free to put them out front. So I'm going to do a brief Actually, I'm going to do a song for the prayer. This is a song that I wrote for the mother of my children after she was had an interaction with one of her brothers who was pretty violent with her. Her nervous system kind of went down for a bit, and she had to actually leave LA where we were living, with the boys. Stayed with my mother in Florida for a month or so to put her nervous system back together. And so the boys, they were used to me singing them to sleep every night. And so I wrote this song for Jana, recorded it, and sent it to them. And they played it to get to sleep at night. But it's a sing-along. The end has a really nice round sing-along, and I'll assign parts, and you can all join in. The song is called Forgive the Past, and today's discussion is going to be about that very thing. So you can close your eyes if you like, but I want you to breathe in your higher self right now from this crown chakra, and above there, your 8th center. Golden white, sparkly light. And imagine that you are the instrument of forgiveness in this moment. Remember to keep the breath flowing. All will be well in the garden of forgiveness. For all those who have a tender heart this morning, have someone to forgive or forgive themselves, maybe feeling a little sad or teary-eyed. Dry your eyes, pretty lady, growing through the rain, making us strong. Let's give our hearts into the comfort of the one. Forgive the past, let it go at last. Tomorrow's another day. I know we'll find a way to live our lives again and start anew. Love our boys, 'cause we believe in you. Boys will be boys, don't let it make you blue. Fall in love with your life again. I know you got a friend who loves you true. Tomorrow's another day. I know we'll find a way to live our lives again, start anew. Forgive the world and your family. It'll set you free. And trust yourself and believe in love. Pain you feel can always bring you home. And today's a brand new day. Now we found a way to live our lives again. Start anew. Let's dry our eyes, pretty lady. Look how we've grown through the rain. It's made us so strong. Give our hearts into the care of the one. Forgive the past, let it go. That's your part. Forgive the past, let it go. That's your part. Forgive the past, let it go. I'm going to do a counterpart. Forgive the past, let it go. Sing out, come on. Forgive the past. Forgive the past, let it go. Surrender to the love, to the love. Yeah. The past, let it go. Come on, everybody, sing along. Forgive the past, let it go. Surrender to the love, to the love, to the love. Forgive the past, let it go. One more time. Forgive the past, let it go. Well, that's a great way to start the day. Okay. Aloha again. So, we're going to forgive the past. Yeah, let it go. Just a reminder that forgiveness, according to A Course in Miracles and a lot of other traditions, forgiveness is our function here. And it's really confusing for a mind that lives in separation. And there's nothing wrong with that. It's just not going to be as effective. You know, the only belief I have is in love. So whatever you hear me say about a wisdom tradition, it's not something I believe. It's something that I entertain to find myself at any given moment in peace. Yeah. So, like the idea of forgiveness, the way it comes across in A Course in Miracles is that, first of all, the principle of living in a body is living in a dream that God is having in its own mind. So forgiveness in regards to that particular system is about forgiving the idea that there was ever a separation from God. Forgiving that idea that we were separated from each other. Forgiving the idea that there's any separation at all. And in that, you'll find the golden rule. Treat, your neighbor as yourself, because they are you. It's pretty practical. And we know all these things, but we're not wired for them. And that is a challenge, to change the wiring. So we meditate, we stretch, we do yoga, we sing, we chant, we dance. A lot of dance temples every Sunday, all over the world. Yeah, they used to be Sufi dances back in the day, but they became very universal dances for just releasing what doesn't belong on Sunday morning. Some of them are called dance church, even. Yeah. So this idea of forgiveness, what is there to forgive? Apparently, there's a lot of guilt and shame that we don't really pay attention to because it doesn't feel good. But there are some traditions that believe we inherited it from our ancestors, all of the patterns that aren't really working. And so there's something to forgive. Not the ancestors, but the idea. Forgive the idea that it's their fault, or that I'm carrying it for them. All of that stuff is quite entertaining. But when you distill forgiveness to forgiving all your projections about everything, you're free. Completely free. Because you wind up in original innocence that you were created in. And they call it heaven, actually. Yeah. Because whatever you want to call it, judgment, discernment, boundaries, doesn't matter what you call it. It all has to do with separation. It all has to do with another and myself, and there's something to protect. I ran across a really amazing post on Facebook. I think it was yesterday or day before. And it was a 10-page letter dissing some of the teachers who are teaching principles of A Course in Miracles. But they didn't call it that. They were attacking people like Byron Katie and others who teach, a very similar idea as A Course in Miracles. And the person who was offended by that style of teaching, as I got through page 5, page 6, I realized that there's a belief in place here. I am a body. I am a body. And that the body requires, and the emotional body, all the different bodies that are physical, require a certain style of therapy in order to heal. The attacks were about spiritual bypassing, imagining that nothing happened, making it less emotional content so that you'll be more at peace, kind of thing. And what I realized was one size doesn't fit all when it comes to these deeper concepts of philosophical teachings. That we have a lot of different various levels of belief about being a body, about being a spirit, and everything in between. Well, what Byron Katie and the Course in Miracles and so many others are teaching is extremely advanced, I call forgiveness technology, because it sides really to one side that I'm not a body. And the reason it does that is because the body's temporary and everything that the body experiences is temporary. Yeah, so breathe that in because you know that that's a reality. That's a part of the 3D exchange here. Yeah. Okay, so then what is permanent? What's beating your heart? You know, is it the ever ready battery? I mean, where do we plug it in, right? Uh, so, what is permanent, according to the systems that are being accused of spiritual bypassing, is the fact that we are love. We were created by love to be love and eternal love. No beginning, no ending, on a very brief encounter in the 3D world, moving in and out. And who's going to remember anything years later of a lifetime spent? Yeah, we have a lot of history about different people who invented things and brought things to life and killed things and et cetera, et cetera. But everyone who's, wanting to live in heaven is residing in the current moment as much as possible. And it's tough when things happen that have a huge emotional impact, like in the song that I sang for Jana. When something is traumatic, it definitely leaves what would look like an imprint or a scar that definitely needs tending to. And so I don't think people like Byron Katie are dishonoring that idea that grief has its place, right? I think that what people like Byron Katie are after is a discharging of the emotion that is attached to grieving. Not the grieving process itself, because that is quite necessary, having a body. Yet some people will grieve for a whole lifetime. And that will keep them in suffering. And I think, if you look at the whole spectrum of that, the idea that the discharging the emotion in a very compassionate way is going to have a different time frame for different people, depending on their belief of how much they are the emotion, the body, it's holding the emotion. Because when you're feeling something so intensely, how it's easy to believe that I am the emotion. I mean, even when I say I am the emotion, it carries a weight because I am is the name of God. So I guess what would be more apropos would be I'm feeling a lot of grief now. In that way, it's moving through. Or I'm feeling a lot of pain of any kind, whether it's physical or not. And in a lot of the New Thought technology, there's the idea of disengaging from the impact of the intensity of the emotion, not minimizing it, but choosing a different point of view. The point of view of your permanent self, your higher self, your beloved I am present self viewing the human experiencing emotional impact, pain, grief, whatever it is, jealousy, the biggest dragon of our culture. And so let's look at all of that, because all of those emotions, they tend to have a flavor of something's missing. Someone is missing. There's not enough love, not enough money, not enough attention, not enough likes on my Facebook page. Need more, need more. See, that's a whole ego program. And I think that's what teachers like Byron Katie are reflecting to us. That if we are indeed whole, if we are indeed created as God created us, there isn't any need in there. Yeah. And that's really tough for the ego to accept. Because our alternate self, which Freud and others call the ego, it's always lacking. Its presence is lacking because it's surrogate power. It's not source. It created itself, we created, whatever, it doesn't matter. To be something that we are not in regards to whole. And if you look around, not only in social media, but in every marketing piece that's on social media, it has three characteristics. You're lacking something. I'm going to give you the cure so you'll attach to it, and then I can control you. What's your credit card number? Hello. And these are the three steps that the ego is constantly looping everywhere you turn, everywhere you look. Even in love, you fall in love, right? They don't call it fall for nothing. You fall in a hole of I'm not enough, and this person can complete me. So let's get married. And I'm not trying to minimize marriage. I'm just trying to show how those three steps play into everything. I'm not enough. First step, okay, there's a lack. Second step, I'm going to attach. There's this amazing person that is so innocent and beautiful. And then there's this control after a while, and they say the honeymoon is over, right? And then we're wanting to change the other person so that we'll feel more comfortable. And then control usually destroys a lot of the yumminess that we had in the beginning. So once again, just be aware. I am wanting to be aware of those three looping things. I fall for it all the time in buying products. Oh man, that was such a good ad. Press buy. There it is. Boom. Arrives at your door the next day with Amazon. So, there's nothing going on but these things in the 3D world. These three looping things. I worked with a kahuna, Harry Uhane Jim. And he knew this so well that he made a bumper sticker. Bright yellow bumper sticker with bright red letters and flowers that said, I am enough. Yeah. The only bumper sticker he ever made that I am aware of. And he would give it to people because he saw this was the antidote to living in a 3D body. People don't believe they're enough. That's why what they call us seekers, right? Always looking for enoughness. And wow. So once again, this is why we meditate, why we do yoga, why we chant, why we dance, why we pray. And be very careful with your prayers that it's not about supplication to give me more. Otherwise, you're in the loop. The only prayer that actually works is gratitude. You know that's true. Your heart can hear that that's true. Why? Because gratitude testifies that you're enough. Grateful for what you have will always bring more. But that's not why you do it. If you do it with agenda, it won't work. But to be honestly, truly grateful for the little things you have, running water, a warm roof over your head, food, whatever, you can walk. I mean, if you've got legs, a lot of people can't walk. Eyesight, hearing, fresh air. Notice how high breathing can make you. Yeah? Yeah. You want to have a little breathing exercise? Yeah, let's do that. Okay, here's what we're going to do. We're going to breathe in, hold one nostril, and breathe in. Then you're going to close that nostril and exhale. And then breathe in, same one. Close that one, exhale, other nostril. Inhale, same one. So after you inhale, you close and exhale the opposite. Go at your own speed. Close your eyes. Inhale after you exhale on the same one. Change nostrils. Exhale opposite. Inhale, same one. Exhale opposite. Just do this for a few minutes. Slow, deep breaths. Notice how high this makes you. You are balancing all of your energy bodies. Listen to how it's changed my voice. Natural way. To adjust your energy. All right then, checking for comments. How you guys doing? Any additions or questions thus far?
I found what you had to say very interesting and very timely, actually, because I was having this conversation with a friend last night about the I am presence and changing the experience through the language that we use. Right? So rather than identifying with a particular emotion or situation and how that's affecting you, what I found to be helpful is to bring it into the present moment.
Could you come closer?
And say, right now.
Yeah.
Right now, I'm having the experience of fill in the blank. And in a way, it bypasses that ego mind that wants to identify so much with the pain body. And my experience with doing that is that I'm able to look at it from the observer angle rather than the 3D body, so to speak. So if it's pain, physical, emotional, mental pain, I can look at it from the witness and the observer, and then go to that place of what am I really? I am the essence of pure light consciousness.
Mm-hmm.
And
Mm.
and in that space, the suffering doesn't exist.
Mm.
And although that experience, that particular experience may continue,
Mm-hmm.
as long as I'm at the present moment
Mm-hmm.
and using the language that bypasses the ego mind,
Mm-hmm.
I can experience that freedom that you're talking about
Mm-hmm.
from that suffering.
It's like a healthy denial of identification
Mm-hmm.
with the body and moving that ID towards, like you said, the spirit that you are in the body,
Mm-hmm.
witnessing the body, experiencing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's beautiful. Mm-hmm.
That doesn't mean that, like the experience of grief or shame or guilt
Mm-hmm.
doesn't exist. It can exist. That's actually the
Coexist.
that's the point of it, is that it's an
Mm-hmm.
allowing of that
Yeah.
particular experience, and
Yeah.
viewing it through the lens of pure love,
Yeah.
rather than judging it as something that will cause me further suffering.
Sure. Absolutely. Yeah. That's the practice. You got it.
Mm-hmm.
Totally. And it does take a lot of practice because the emotions are so intense.
They certainly can be.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Especially the looping triggers,
Mm-hmm.
which seem to have an automatic response. Those are the ones a little harder to catch because the response is automatic to react. Yeah.
But isn't that the beauty, though, of a physical experience?
Mm-hmm.
Is that we can allow those expressions and yet gain distance from them
Mm-hmm.
through the process of allowing them.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. That's transparency. Yeah. We talked about this in your session. Yeah. That's transparency. That's what I'm reaching for. Yeah, I got this text from someone the other day who was not pleased with something that apparently I had done, right? And there was all of these accusations of, my behavior. And I agreed. I said, yeah, you're right. I didn't say I am selfish, self-centered, and arrogant. I said I can be
Mm-hmm.
selfish, self-centered, and arrogant.
Mm-hmm.
Separating the I am from that piece. Because if I can be these things, I can still love those things about myself. Otherwise, I have to carry guilt and shame into the conversation. But she was like, whoa, there was no more attack because I accepted the whole attack. Just went right through.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And it's not a denial of the human experience, like you said. It's a compassionate overview of the interchange that doesn't feel good. Because as soon as we go to defend, we're acknowledging that there's truth in it. No, I'm not those things. I'm not human. What are you talking about?
Maybe you weren't aware that was the case.
Oh, but we're really good at hiding from ourselves in that regard.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So just try it. Next time someone accuses you of being whatever, you go, okay.
And
Or you could even not guilty,
well, I mean, I think it's an interesting idea when we talk about spiritual bypassing, to also allow those opportunities, like allow those things to inform inform our identity and like Christ-centered awareness, and
Sure.
so that if we're getting that feedback, there is some reflection,
Oh, for sure.
right? And
Yeah.
to give those moments pause, and to have that self-awareness that says, well, and get curious about what was it, can you identify what it was that makes you perceive me as selfish or
yeah, see, then you're in the dialogue of ego bantering.
Ego bantering.
Yeah, because then there can be a false humility of wanting to know what's wrong with me, or why your view is something's wrong with me. Yeah. Whereas through Christ consciousness, there's never anything wrong with anybody. It's all just a play that we're all scripted to do our part.
Right.
Just like an actor and an actress. Yeah. Are they that part?
No.
Hello? Same thing.
Yeah.
So if I'm questioning, the part I'm playing in their view, then I'm
talking about from a space of genuine humility.
Yeah, but then still, that you want to understand why there's something wrong with you.
Well, I mean, when it comes to relationships, when it comes to relationships that are, even if they're not important to us,
isn't there an element of people pleasing in there? You want to know how you can be more liked by them because their view of you is
not necessarily. I would think that it would be like a dialogue that would actually facilitate further opportunities to love someone.
That's an ideal way it could possibly go, but it usually doesn't. If you're asking,
that's like in a perfect world, right, Wayne?
Yeah. That would be in a world where people are being sovereign,
yeah,
and they know themselves as whole. Then that would fly. But if there's any element of something missing in you or in me, it's ego bantering. Yeah, where's the lack here? Where do you see that I'm lacking? Yeah, because you'll never convince them if they're angry. You'll never convince them that you're not the way they see you. Yeah, that's why it's best to become transparent. Let them completely have their view of you and not buy it yourself. And it's touchy. You're right. It's once again, is there one of us here or more than one? It comes back down to that in the dialogue. Yeah. If there's more than one of us here, it's going to get very, spicy. Very complex.
It's going to get spicy.
Yeah, for sure.
Why do you bring the spice?
Yeah. Yet, if I believe there's one of us here and there's really no harm done, then peace is already holding the whole thing.
Well, that's kind of what I mean. If that is the ideal, to shoot for this more higher consciousness existence.
And it's going to differ.
We require a model.
Yeah, true. That's why Jesus and all the other masters lived. Yeah, for sure.
And so why not us?
Yeah. Well, we are that. That's who we are. That's the beauty of this.
True.
Yeah. You should bring your chair over here and get in front of the camera. Yeah. This is a great dialogue. I'm sure it's going to help a lot of people. Over here. Yeah.
I don't want to trip on any of these parts.
And you're right in front of the mic. And we have somebody coming in. Okay. Yeah. Perfect. Well, this is my friend Kira.
Hello.
Now we can not only hear her, we can see her.
Oh, there's me on the other timeline.
I know, isn't that funny? It's wild, huh? Oops. What did I do?
There you go.
I wanted this to see. Oh, this is not showing because this is comments. Yay, you're half a minute late over there. Well, thank you for showing up.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah. These dialogues were meant to be live and to have an audience that is live. So we can have some more interaction with the real experience of being in a body and working towards being more helpful to ourselves and others as a guide into oneness, into more love and less fear. It comes down to that. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah. So it's so easy to fall into, you know, I don't want to call it a trap, but it kind of feels like that if it doesn't feel good. Of seeing everybody and everything as separate and having that overcome every experience that we have because of the intensity of being human. Simple. So, is there a situation that you came upon this week that perhaps would, besides the one you mentioned, where you were able to practice this?
What, forgiveness?
Yeah, forgiving your perspective on something or your point of view.
Well, I mean, I had my session with you the last week, and it was really wonderful, and I knew it was something that I wanted to do, and the tendency is to be perfectionistic after such an event, where there's an investment of time, energy, and money.
Sure.
And you know, all intents and purposes was to perfect the afterthought, or the aftermath, the denouement,
Afterglow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
Sure.
And much to my dismay, that was not the case. You know, there was you know, a sense of that imposter syndrome coming in, and it took me out. It took the wind out of my sails, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And the internal dialogue after something like that is very harmful to myself. You know, like, I'm not enough. I wasn't able to do it. See, look, I've failed again. Yeah. Once again, the investment, you know, because of your own doing, your weak will, or whatever it may be, is
or undoing.
Yeah. And so there was a lot of self-compassion that had to happen after that, you know, that it was not a failure, simply information that I can use for further attempts. And
it's a loop, isn't it?
It absolutely is, and it's not the first time. I've softened, though, in terms of how I speak to myself and how I allow myself to move through the experience. Like, right now, the experience is not such that I can perfect and will my way through this. Right now, my experience is one of allowing, permitting, accepting what is as it is. And allowing myself to feel that the truth of that landing, as you know, as misperceived as it is, and moving to a higher state, moving to one of love, compassion, understanding, tolerance.
Yeah. All great ideas. How is it stabilized that becomes the response?
Practice.
True that. But not just practice. It has to be perfect practice. Otherwise,
Does it?
we practice wrongly, we're going to get more loop.
I suppose as a guitar player, you would know that.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I mean, of course, there is, that element of precision that needs to be involved.
Or practicing correctly is a better way to say it. Because I've learned a lot of things, teaching myself things that developing bad habits by not having a teacher. And practice those things, and those became the norm. And I think that's why it's so important to have a reflection that gives us a really accurate, effective way of doing something that's going to give us the result we want. Yeah, that's why I asked the question. Yeah. Because, what if practice isn't working?
Well, I mean, I think one could argue that, if we are all one, then we are all expressions of the other and expressions of God's mind.
Sure.
Would it not be that, okay, this is God's way of instructing me directly?
Absolutely, yeah. Absolutely. And you came upon another principle there, that every single thing, thought, action, deed, word, contributes to your evolution. Yeah. Everyone, regardless of right or wrong or black or white or whatever.
I suppose it just matters at which speed and velocity you want to move through this 3D experience.
Even that. Yeah.
Because, you see young children and they, and, operate at genius levels and are able to perform, musical, whether it's a musical talent or art or anything like that. And they have a very small window of time to practice with precision those things, and the expression is perfection.
Evolution is speeding up.
Yeah.
For sure. That's a testament for me when I see, someone under 10 years old playing like Jimi Hendrix. It's like,
whoa. I know, mind blowing, right?
Yeah. Yeah, so we are speeding up. Evolution is speeding up. Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hey, John, you have anything you want to share with us? Perhaps we can unwind for you. Why don't you go ahead?
Not really. I mean, I had a couple of questions, but they're not really relevant to the conversation today.
Well, they might be now. Yeah, give me one, please.
Okay. A lot of teachers seem to want to talk about everyone having a very specific mission that they are here to do in their current life incarnation in the body.
Right.
Now, I know that can be broadened out in the sense of, well, our only function is forgiveness, or our only purpose is the involvement of our being, our soul. And if we're doing that, what one is actually doing isn't so relevant. But do you feel everyone has a very specific mission?
It's your podcast. Thank you, John, for the question. Actually, that's a really good question, because I myself have had that very same question.
I mean, I've been hearing this for years. Yeah. I've been given techniques to find it. I've never really thought, well, I found it, I'm on it, I'm doing it. I mean, there was an affirmation we used to use the divine plan of my life is now manifest, or I manifest the divine plan of my life. I can't say it's really worked for me.
But how do you know it hasn't worked? I mean, when you say that, I feel amazing confidence from you.
Well, I say that because I'm not having a great time.
Okay.
I'm in chronic pain, and I feel sad a great, most of the time.
Okay.
And like in the last couple of weeks, there's been more than a couple of days where I'm like, well, I just don't want to be here. I don't want to be here. Just get me out.
Sure.
Anyway, so that was the question.
Thank you. Thank you. Can I ask you a question?
Yeah.
In the last 2 weeks, because I haven't seen you for 2 weeks, has there been any opportunity that you can recall where your presence was a gift to someone in some way? Anywhere, in any way?
Yeah, I can say that happened.
Okay. That's your mission. You were living your mission in that moment. Because from what I perceive, given the fact or the idea that we're all love in a body and that we are here to forgive anything that falls short of that, when you have an exchange, even if you don't open your mouth, your presence is a gift to someone in some way. You're living your purpose. From my point of view. Does that make sense?
Yeah, okay, yeah.
Yeah. So climb into that. You don't have to make it happen. You just have to be it. You just have to be the knowledge of your immortal self that's living in a body that it has chronic pain. There are so many reflections in the world of people who had 10 times the handicap you have, that their presence was so inspiring to others. Even if it's for a moment. I mean, a miracle is not in time. A miracle happens in eternity. It collapses time. And so I'm just asking you to be aware of the opportunity for more of those moments where your presence makes a difference to someone else. What do you think?
I can try and pay more attention. I'll see what happens.
Because you're living your purpose by showing up in this meeting. You inspire me, and you're living your purpose because you inspire me. I know how much pain you're in. We've had this discussion. I think all of us have various pains that we're all living with, emotional or physical. It's not about measuring that as it is how comfortable we can be our whole self in the part of us that feels quite lacking. Yeah, it's kind of an oxymoron. It sounds like an impossible task, but I want to inform you, you inspire me, John, just showing up for these meetings. And, Yeah, I mean, that part of you that is a star in this body, which I met, I don't know how many years ago, probably almost 20 years ago. That's the reflection I received from you showing up. And this is what Jesus did. It's a practice. He only saw everyone's wholeness. He had no capacity to see anyone was lacking, whether they had leprosy or they were blind or crippled, whatever. He only saw the pureness of their spirit, and they were healed. So with you focusing on that, and perhaps pouring gratitude prayers into that part of you that when leaves this body, is still in this body, is absolutely whole and complete and innocent. It's a tough one. Ego hates this shit. But from what my studies show, this is who we are and what I like to focus on when I think of John. Thank you, John, for sharing.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah. God bless you. Any closing words?
I think that what we touched on today in regards to the I am statement, we are essentially a three-part being, right? Mind, body, soul. But all of those things, if they're not in balance, take away from the essence of what we are, which is the star within idea. And so anytime we're identifying with what it means to carry out a mission and what the particular details of that looks like, that would be something that the mind will do. It's a mental
concept,
reality.
Sure.
And the more time we spend in the mind thinking about that stuff, the less we have the ability to see the truth of
we're already whole.
The mission.
Yeah.
So, my comments would be in regards to your question, John, would be just to perhaps be a witness to the mental space, and in regards to the body, I know as a person who has some degree of chronic pain, that the more I focus on that pain, the more it becomes my reality. And what I try to do is, no matter how small or seemingly insignificant it may be, to put myself in what is the thing that's feeling most soulful for me at that time. And then allowing those energies to balance out. So having an equal sided triangle rather than one being way out of whack and one kind of shorter and vice versa. So yeah, I don't know if that helps in any way, but if you can imagine, a three-sided a triangle and trying to shape that triangle to be as equilateral as possible, that will, I think, open a gateway to the spirit of who you are. and whatever comes out as an expression is the mission, is the mission.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
Mm-hmm.
it doesn't need to be complex. In fact, I think all God ideas are very simple.
Mm-hmm. Just the thought that there's something lacking is not a God idea.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
You add a zero, not a good idea. Yeah.
Yeah, but I do appreciate your question because that's been on my mind as well.
Mm-hmm. So, a prayer of gratitude. Let's close with the prayer of gratitude. So let's center ourselves. Sit up if you can. If you're not, that's okay. Open your crown center. Allow the light of Source, Creator, Universe, Infinity. Breathe it in from above and allow it to fill your body with love. Father, Mother God, thank you for this opportunity to share this dialogue and be with you, the Holy Spirit, or the Spirit of Wholeness, focusing on our perfection beyond the body and in the body. We thank you for all those that will watch the replay and receive something that they needed to hear. We thank you for all those that are teaching forgiveness in the world, the kind of forgiveness that sees that our projections and our perceptions are what cause us our feelings and elicit our experience of life. And this can be changed by simply going vertical, allowing divinity through our breathing to infiltrate our experience and guide us home in any given moment. Thank you for this blessing. Thank you for the warmth that we feel hanging out in community. Thank you for the food, the shelter, the friends, the family, and all the relationships that not only feed us, but challenge us in ways that cause us to grow through self-examination. And thank you most of all for love and the practice of loving ourselves and others. And I'm most grateful for this life experience, for the earth and nature, blessing this springtime that we're having right now. That we're planting seeds in our various bodies that we can water and bring forth fruits of higher understanding, more trust in the divine. Aumakua, Maikapo Waiola, Hoikea Maikeola, Mama Uanoa, Lelevaleakua. And so it is. Thanks for showing up, everybody. See you next Sunday. Ahui ho malama pono.